Welcome to the Department of Corrections. We are extremely excited to finally have a new kitchen that will be extremely helpful to not only our staff, but deliver a better product to the population we serve. Yeah. I'm Yolanda Evans, and I will serve as your mistress of ceremony this morning. I first would like to acknowledge several of our partners who are here today. Rand Construction Corporation. If you could step forward, please. Chris Dario, Kyle Slusher, and Tony Jagan. And as I understand it, Rand has a lot of girl power going on over there. It's woman-owned. RK&K with Sam Imara. Tom Stanley could not be with us today. From our Office of Management and Budget, Deborah Bice. Is she here today? Okay. Office of Central Services, Mr. Jack Sloan and Mr. Abdul Sadhu. And with GWWO, our architectural firm, John Easterling, Bill Meluish. We certainly want to thank you for delivering such an excellent product. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our first speaker. He is the Secretary of State for Maryland, appointed by Governor O'Malley in 2008. He has served as Chief of Staff in Prince George's County for the former County Executive Winfield Kelly. He has practiced law for more than 30 years and is also a resident of Prince George's County, where he and his wife of 41 years raised their 3 grown daughters. He is representing Governor O'Malley this morning. Please help me greet Mr. John McDonough.
Thank you, Yolanda. Good morning, everyone. I have to say, it's a pleasure to be here representing Governor Martin O'Malley and Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown, and really the people of the state of Maryland. But it was sort of a left-handed invitation. Mary Lou invited me to come speak, and she said, would you come and represent the governor at ribbon cutting for the new kitchen? She said, although there's no state money in it. So Rashern, if you make a little note on your to-do in Annapolis, get money from Mary Lou's Kitchen, Now, I observed to myself that there's state money in the expansion of the facility, but I've learned that there's no point in arguing these things with Mary Lou. So we'll do our best on the funding thing. It's a great pleasure to be here with also County Executive Rashern Baker. I would be remiss if on behalf of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor I didn't express what a tremendous job he has done as County Executive of Prince George's County. This is my home, and as Yolanda noted, I've served in Prince George's County government, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any of our previous county executives who have done as good a job as Rashern. So I think we all owe him a debt of gratitude for that. And over the years, working with my good friend, old high school friend Wayne Curry, when he appointed Barry Stanton as Director of Corrections here. I've known Barry over the years, and of course working with Mary Lou when he was his deputy, so it's always a great pleasure to be here with Barry, who's now Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety. And we also share the dubious distinction of being the father of brides. Along with Greg Harris, we're all paying for weddings apparently. It's kind of another funny thing. When people saw this on my schedule, they go, "You're going to the dedication of a kitchen?" And at first it seems funny, but when you think about it, this is an important element of a very important job. Mary Lou often observes to me that being Director of Corrections is like being the mayor of a small city. You're responsible, and all of you are responsible for the basics, housing, security, and indeed feeding your population. And this new facility is an important element of that. And I've found over the years of being in and out of state and local government that what makes government work best is rigorous attention to the small things. That the cumulative effect of doing the small things day in, day out, having good facilities, good service, doing your job, showing up on time, the cumulative effect of all those things is what makes an organization, any organization effective, whether it's a sports team, a government, or a business. And I've known your director longer than most of you, and it's been my observation that she, as I'm sure all of you well know, that she is very rigorous in seeing that the small things are done correctly, so that the big things are done correctly, and she's very, very assertive about that. And I think that's a hallmark of a great administrator, and I think that's why this facility runs well. And you're part, and in doing that, this facility is part of a larger strategy of the Baker administration in public safety, led by Barry Stanton. And it's no coincidence that due to this effort and their partnership with the O'Malley Brown administration, we have driven violent crime down to its lowest levels in the state of Maryland and in Prince George's County in almost 3 decades. Recidivism is down statewide and in Prince George's County as well. More of our young people are not spending their time in jail. They're spending stagnating. They're spending their time in good jobs, contributing to society rather than being a burden on society here. And that's largely due to the work of all of you here this morning and men and women like you all over the state. So on behalf of the governor and the lieutenant governor, and the people of Maryland, really, I want to express our appreciation to you, to return to you and your administration, to Mary Lou, all your staff here for a job well done. Thank you for having me this morning.
He served as the director here for more than 10 years and left to help run his small town he grew up in, Frederick, Maryland. He is now the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety, managing corrections, police, fire, and EMS, as well as Homeland Security. Please help me welcome Mr. Barry Stanton.
Good morning, everyone. I always say it's nice to be back home, but it's really not. But, let me just say something, that this is home. This is where I started in Prince George's County. And to see the success here in this facility based on what all of you have done and under the leadership of Ms. Mary Lou McDonough. When I left, the first person I recommended for my job was Mary Lou. And I said that because I knew that Mary Lou would be very particular about running this operation and making sure not only the staff was safe, but also the inmates were safe. So again, let's give Mary Lou a round of applause. I want to thank John McDonough, who's always been supportive, even when I was in corrections. John has always been supportive, so having the Secretary of State here giving support not only to his wife, but also to the Department of Corrections, because to actually have a ribbon cutting for a kitchen is big for corrections. A lot of the public don't understand the importance of that. But to make sure the inmates are fed properly and the staff is fed properly and we don't have any kind of security breaches, this goes a long way. And so, and finally, my boss, Mr. Baker. I came back from Frederick County because of Mr. Baker. He asked me to come back. Some people thought I was a little crazy leaving Freddie to come back to Prince George's to make a difference in reducing crime and running public safety. But I think at the end of the day, that's what good leadership is about. And because of Mr. Baker, you have seen public safety improve 110% in this county. Not just crime, not just in the area of Homeland Security, not just the area of fire EMS, but also in the area of overall public safety in Prince George's County and corrections. So let's give him a round of applause, because I want to thank you for his support. And finally, I want to thank all of you, the staff, because without having excellent staff, without having excellent people that care about not just inmates, but service, Service to the citizens, service to the community, and service to everyone, every volunteer that comes in here. You all have done an excellent job. And at the end of the day, it shows the caring approach that we have concerning corrections in this county. So again, I want to thank all of you. This is great. I know what went through the kitchen. I'm really going to eat here now. That's just a joke. But really, seriously, I know how important this is. I know how important it is years ago when this was on the planning stage. I know how important it is to Mary Lou. So again, I want to thank all of you for your round of support. Thanks.
And I talked about girl power at Rand. Well, at the jail, we have a lot of girl power. And those of you who work with me, I talk about girl power all the time. And it starts at the top with our director, Mrs. Mary Lou McDonough. She has worked her entire career here in Prince George's County, starting in the Department of Housing. She's also a native Prince Georgian, and she leads the department by setting an example of professionalism. She makes decisions based on what makes practical sense and falls within budget constraints, and is dedicated to improving the operations here at the Department of Corrections. Please, everyone, help me welcome our director, Mrs. Mary Lou McDonough.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. This new kitchen is long overdue. When I first came to work at Corrections in 2008, one of my first recommendations to then Director Barry Stanton was that we needed a new kitchen and we needed it fast. Finally, 9 years later, we are here. As most of you know, the population of the county has increased tremendously since 1987, when this new jail was built. As the county's population has grown, so has the number of inmates and the number of arrests and the number of detainees here at the jail. The jail has seen an increase in daily population of 375% since 1987. The original kitchen was designed to prepare approximately 1,000 meals daily. The old kitchen was ill-equipped to handle the 6,000 meals we now prepare every day. This new kitchen will help the jail run more efficiently. One of the added benefits of the new kitchen is actually its location. The old kitchen is in the basement of the jail. This one is located at ground level, the same level as the housing units. It will provide a faster, hotter, and better quality meal to the inmates. Another efficiency is the time it will take for staff to actually deliver the meal to the housing units. This will be cut approximately in half. This means that the feeding times may be adjusted to be more in line with the rest of the time that society eats. The new location will also help reduce maintenance costs. The elevators will no longer be required to move feeding trays and therefore will suffer less wear and tear. This kitchen has a separate HVA system, which we're very glad of since the rest of the jail has no air conditioning this spring. And it also has its own plumbing and electrical systems, which will help cut maintenance costs. This beautifully constructed kitchen also is reducing our carbon footprint of the jail by reducing waste through the use of a Summit pulper. This pulper will take food service waste, mix it with water, and create a mixture that is 95% liquid and 5% solid waste. The water is then extracted and reused, well, not to feed people, but in the pulper, while the semi-dry pulp is discharged into a container for disposal. This will reduce our waste volume by 93%. Other features of the kitchen include the increased energy efficiency, digital thermometers on all the refrigerators and freezers that will notify staff if something goes wrong and there's possible issues affecting the food safety, more freezer capacity. It's equipped with a grill, a fryer, a convection oven, a proofing oven, and a dough machine. The steam pots are larger so that we can get more steam food made quicker and prepared. The loading dock is larger and is separate from the main loading dock of the jail. All of these features will improve the quality and the variety of the meals served. In the old kitchen, there were no tables and chairs for the inmate workers to sit and eat. All the kitchen labor is prepared by inmate laborers, and they should be able to eat their meals in the kitchen. Now the inmate workers will have a separate area to sit and eat their meals, which is designed like the housing unit eating areas. What I've described is a state-of-the-market kitchen that will provide multiple opportunities to expand on the services we offer here at Corrections. Getting to this day has been long and at times frustrating experience. Through the budget process, the procurement, the contracting process, and finally the construction process. I would like to thank my staff for assisting in all steps along the way of those processes. Particularly support services led by Deputy Director Corinne LeBay and security led by Lieutenant Colonel Hilton and Deputy Director Greg Harris. We are delighted and excited to share this new kitchen at the Department of Corrections with all of you. It's my pleasure to have County Executive Baker here today with us. County Executive Baker has been very supportive of the work we're doing here at Corrections, and I'm pleased to welcome him today as we show off our new kitchen. Please help me welcome the Honorable
Do we have a plaque that says Mary Lou's Kitchen?
It's coming.
It's coming. Certainly, as I prepare to open these remarks, let me just, first of all, can we give Secretary McDonough another round of applause? You know, we are extremely blessed in this administration to have a partnership in the O'Malley Brown administration, but a special partnership with Secretary McDonough. As you know, in addition to supporting the efforts here in Prince George's County, he is also a vital part of our efforts to reach across the waters and to expand our markets, economic development, whether it's India, Brazil, and a future trip in China. But to have someone of his caliber helping us in the O'Malley Brown administration and hopefully helping us in the next administration. So let's give him another round of applause, please. Certainly, Barry Stanton, we were, was one of the first recruits that we went out there and lied about how great we were and told him what an easy job he was going to have. If you've done corrections, you can do anything, just come on back. For the record, I'm not the one who lied to him. It was Mike Errico. But I didn't correct Errico. But we are pleased. We would not be at the levels in reduction in crime that we've seen over these last 4 years had it not been for his work in pulling the team together. Can we give him another round of applause, please? And as Mary Lou said, the people who actually make it all happen, we get to make the speeches, but it is really the men and women who are standing around here, who are out there working right now while we get ready to cut the ribbon on this new facility, who really make it happen. So if we can give yourselves a round of applause for all the work you're doing on behalf of Prince George's County. I've had many opportunities to speak to Director McDonough on a variety of topics. And as in those conversations, she reminds me, I have not been to a ribbon cutting in corrections since I've been county executive. So indeed, this is a pleasure. I admire, of course, and respect the work that Secretary McDonough is doing. And let me just, stop for a minute. I think this is a perfect occasion and a perfect place to talk about her work. As many of you know, and I've said this in many arenas, when I came into this government, I had to make some difficult decisions. Most of those decisions, the early ones, were people that had to leave the government because I was unsure of the role and where they were going with an investigation at the time. It meant that this government lost probably 70 to 80% of the actual historical knowledge and leadership in every single department. There were only 2 directors that I kept. One was in Dr. Ajazi over in Public Works, and the other was Mary Lou. And it was based on an interview that I had, and I don't know if Mary Lou remembers it, but we talked to her. And my fear, of course, was that, the state, with John up there would try to steal her. But we talked about corrections and the things that I wanted to see happen, and we made the decision, and I asked her to stay. I have not been disappointed one single day on that decision. In fact, I think many of the folks who got to know Director McDonough would say, if you had a conversation with Brad Seaman or Tom Himmler or Barry Stanton, you would say, and I'm not afraid to say this, that she is probably one of the best directors we have ever had and one of the best individuals I've ever worked with. So can we give her another round of applause? And there is no greater testament to her work and the respect that we have for her than this kitchen. As someone said, it sounds like a small deal. You're like, it's a kitchen. What's the big deal? I started my political career in Annapolis on judiciary. And one of the biggest fights we had was about air conditioning in prisons, in the facilities in the state. 21 members of that body of judiciary did not want to have air conditionings in those facilities. They would say stuff like, it's a camp if you have air conditioning. It was the wardens and the individuals who worked in there said, no, it's for our safety. When it's hot, when you don't have good facilities, that causes problems. You're not helping to reduce recidivism. You're actually creating people coming back here. And then to make the point, one of the wardens actually, for the first tour we had, he had it in July. It had to be 111, and it was like 200 in the prison. And every one of the committee members saw what it was like. In fact, during one of those, I'll never forget it, during the visit, I wanted to go inside one of the cells, and at that point they had a fight or somewhere out, and they got ready to close it off, and I was in the cell with the inmates. I started screaming, "It's hot, get me out of here." No, in all seriousness, that is the point. So when Director McDonough would come and talk to us about this kitchen, and about the need for it, and how long they've been waiting to have this kitchen done, I got it, but more importantly, she convinced the others around the table why it was important. This is not only going to feed the inmates, it is also going to provide culinary art skills for them that will further reduce recidivism of folks coming back here, and that's what we want. This is an important one. This is also, and I'll close with this, the most famous kitchen in the Baker administration. There's been more conversation about this kitchen than any other kitchen I've ever heard anything talk about. And it is because Mary Lou was very convincing to our then CEO, Brad Seaman, about why this was needed and about having additional staff, that every story, he could not forget it. She told him the story, and every time we had, am I right, Barry? That's right. Every time we had a meeting, all Brad C would say, we need the kitchen and we need more people. And so when we talk, that's right, he said we need assistance. But I'm very proud of your work. Thank you for doing this. This is a long time coming, and we're very pleased to participate in this ribbon cutting. And let me say this, I know I don't make it over here often, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're doing such a great job. If you see me, it usually means something's wrong. If you see Barry, it usually means something's wrong. John knows this probably better than anybody else. They don't ever send me the easy assignments. When I'm going there, it's like, hey, you got to deliver bad news. But I want you to know that we think about you, we appreciate the hard work you're doing, and we look forward to the ribbon cutting here and continuing a great job. Thank you very much.
Detail. Ready?
John, you want to see this side? John. Yeah, we got real.
I like that the ribbons are green.
You know, so do I.
All right, everyone, if you got pieces up this way, please. Look this way for me, please. Good. Look this way for me, please. On 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right. I think we got it. We're going to do an actual ribbon cutting. Yeah. Everyone.